In this video, we'll create one generic array that can print arrays of different types: characters, strings, and numbers. So we've got 3 arrays. One is an array of characters, one is an array of strings, and one is an array of numbers. And then we've got 3 for each loops, one to print the character array, and one to print the string array, and one to print the numbers array. So what we want to do is, instead of writing 3 separate loops, we only want to write one single loop that works for any of these, to print any of these arrays. So to do that, what we'll do is we will create a generic method called print array that can work with arrays of any type. So let's do that. Here we'll use a placeholder for a specific data type. And then the parameter of this method is an array of type T. Now here, T array, or the array of type T, the method takes an array of type T, where T represents the type of elements in the array. So basically, it really depends on what you pass to it. If you pass an array of integers, then T is an integer. If you pass in an array of strings, then T is a string. And if you're passing an array of characters, then that T is a char. Now I'm going to copy any of these loops and just recycle it down here. So what we'd change is we want to loop over each element in the array where each element is of type T. So instead of saying that it's a string, it's going to be a T. So it doesn't matter if it's coming in as a string, or it will work if we're passing an integer or a character. So T is any type that we pass in. It depends on what you pass onto it, so it will act as that. So the generic type parameter T then adapts to the type of the array passed to it. What else do we change? We also change the array name. We've called it just array because it could be any array of characters or numbers or strings. And then we also don't want to say that it's a string. We'll call it elements. That's just a variable name. And we'll print that. Now, the benefit of doing this, it allows us to write a single method that works for various data type. And that's the whole purpose of having that generic method for this video. So to print the arrays using a generic method, we're going to call the method and pass in each of these arrays. So chars array and the strings array and the numbers array. Let's save and run it. Now we will have 2 of each, because this way the 4 loops will run first. So this is the result of these loops printing the elements of the array. So that's the first call. And the second printed messages, or the console messages, are coming from the generic code. And it works exactly the same. So now what we can do is we minimize the code duplication and get rid of all of these previous methods. And now we can just rely on the generic method, pass it in whatever type we like, which will adapt. And T will just represent the new type that you pass into it. So that's it. That's how you can use the generic methods. And yeah, simple. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next one.